Quite the party going on outside. Let's drop everything over here and we'll figure out lights. Good morning. How you guys doing? This is officially the bank tour. Let's find light switches.
What about a microwave?
Light switches. Here's our beds. Light switches. Try in this room. This is a full kitchen. We got fan. Okay, we got some light. Oh, I got your light. Okay. Got your light. Ooh. I love the plaster coming off. Okay. So we got like a full kitchen in here. There's our bathroom. Very cool. Okay. Oh, this is the actual vault. Got a safe. Inside of a safe. Inside of a safe. Inside of a vault. Play a little arcade down here. We got Mortal Kombat 2 and Marvel Superheroes. Oh, this is the actual. Is there two doors into this? Into the vault? First National Bank. Let's go close the blinds up front. So we close the party down because it's quite the party going on outside. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
How are you guys doing? We're at an old abandoned gas station. Getting your photos?
Trying.
Beautiful railroad down there.
Look at all the moss, you guys.
Moss?
Vines.
What moss?
Vines.
Vines.
Vines. I'll get it right.
The railroad down there. Look at that. That's beautiful. Welcome to the Appalachian Mountains. If you pronounce it differently, it's okay that you're wrong.
Ooh, fighting words.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful landscape. Man, I would like to go on that train ride. Imagine going down in a valley like this on train. Train does not look Chinese, so it might not be in use. Anyhow, let's do a two-parter today. So today's Thursday, and we'll do today's video and tomorrow's video as part 1 and part 2. We are in Hazard, Kentucky. Kentucky, yeah. Okay. Hazard, Kentucky. So we are on highway, what's you call it? Highway 18 went across, I think 15. I could be wrong. Oh, there's a sign, 15. So we are on Highway 15, eastbound, southbound, whichever that is. Behind us is Highway 80. And we're in Hazard, Kentucky. And we're going to continue Highway 15, eastbound. Let's put our sock cam up here. This is what the sock cam looks like. You see the sock? Got a hole in the bottom, a hole here to keep it in place. Our sock cam.
Your sock?
Yep, got our sock cam. All right, abandoned gas station behind us. Appalachian Mountains, well, in front of us and behind us. Hopefully we get some curvy roads. So far the highways have been pretty big, but we'll see how that goes. They don't have any front plates in Kentucky, so we scream tourists wherever we go. Right lane must turn right. I guess that's us, huh? Get out of right then. Oh, actually, the right route would have been to the right.
So we're going on the wrong road.
Looking on the map. We are going down the wrong road. We're going through town, which is fine. Hazard Community and Technical College.
I mean, it's a detour.
Yep, we're taking the scenic route. It's not necessarily the wrong route, it is the scenic route. Oh, ambulance is coming back. Come on. Corner's not that tight.
Very historical. And these vines take over everything.
Yeah, seeing vines going over top of trees and stuff, it's like, yep, they
That
are
whole
invasive.
side, it's pretty cool. There's a train there.
There's a train there. One Love Barbecue. Oh, it's like an outdoor barbecue in an old gas station. It's so Belizean. Just a business under a hut.
This is your first time down this way, and you're like, it reminds you a lot of Belize.
Welcome to Hazard. It does. It has a Belizean mountain feel to it. Big time Belizean mountain feel to it.
Some kind of festival going on here? Or?
Yeah, it looks like the roads are blocked. Definitely looks festive.
So, where we stayed last night?
At the bank vault. I guess today's video started with little clips of that bank vault. Forgot about that.
The fall fair was right outside.
That was so neat having the fall fair. They set up the fall fair on Wednesday. It was our first night. So we didn't get to bed fairly early. Yeah, see, here's a fair going on right now. Yeah. It's so interesting to do fairs that early in the week. Our fairs in Canada don't start until Friday, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're 3-day things.
Ours is random. It's hard to know when they show up. They just show up. But I absolutely loved the fair being there. The music, they weren't...
The music was not good.
Yeah, but I knew the songs, and it was just so cool. Like, the experience.
Very out of tune, which is fine. It was a small town fair and small town singers. They just weren't good. But the vibe was fun and relaxing, and
you're gonna remember that, right?
kids walking around, doing the rides or doing the face painting and the cotton candy and all of that. And the video wasn't great from last night. Going into the bank vault, it's kind of blurry and funny movements, but I swear their lights are Texas long. Hopefully I remember to edit that out and make it nice and short for you guys. But
Hey, remember not to talk this one.
this is where that road would have connected if we had taken the right road.
Okay.
Speed limit's 45 still. We'll set cruise control just in case it stays 45 for a while. Just remember when you're making the map, we went through town, through Hazard.
I'll try to remember that.
It is definitely, like we compare it to different places, these mountains, like Appalachian tropics, because the invasive plant wildlife just taking everything over. It is still unique, right? Has that Appalachian jungle feel to it without being a jungle though, right? It's more forest than jungle.
Yeah. Well, earlier you mentioned something, you're like, the smell, right? And then I had to think about it, I'm like, you're right though, there's a smell here of like a earthy,
Mossy smell.
mossy,
Yeah.
like walking through a forest and there's a lot of
That's
overgrowth.
something I think nobody notices. I've never noticed it before in my life until we moved to the Okanagan where it's very dry. I never noticed smells of a place until 55. Until you go to a very dry place where there are no smells, until you really think about the smells, until you come back into the smells.
Well,
The
there's-
prairies had a very unique smell. This has a very unique smell. Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, no, go
Yeah,
ahead. If you don't talk now, and then forever hold your peace.
do a lot of that. I was gonna say the prairies. I told you a few times that to me it had a grainy smell, and I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was my allergies being sensitive or not.
Sometimes you had that corn smell, and more in the pastures you had that slight cow smell. You could smell the different,
And then
prairie
you
smells.
get here and you're like the smell, and I'm like,
It's got
how's
that mossy,
walking
weedy smell.
through a deep,
Breaking fresh weeds as you step on them.
dense forest
Yeah.
that you're walking through. And there's all the old leaves that are composting. And we kind of hit it right when fall colors are starting.
Yeah, definitely have some nice fall colors starting. They're definitely just starting. They're not in full bloom yet, but a little bit starting.
And
here
we do
there.
know this area is known, obviously, for the
Beautiful fall, yeah.
and everybody coming here to see the fall colors. But getting what we're getting is kind of cool.
Just barely drove through a rainstorm, and it's like, hey, the rain stopped, and we're in Hazard. And it's the right time to hit record as we drive down some of these side roads, or not really side roads, off the beaten path. They're still pretty big highways. Like we got 4-lane here right now.
If I figure out why it was called Hazard, I will let you guys know.
Well, the next town is Happy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then after that, it's Scuddy.
Wow, what a range of feelings we're feeling here.
Hazard, Happy, Scuddy.
There was Hazard, so we went sure they were happy, and then we might not be done with rain.
We might not be done with rain. Huge drops of rain, just like slamming into the windshields, like click, 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 click. None of this light drizzle stuff.
We're just getting done with the tropical storm that went through.
Mm-hmm. Was that one a hurricane that petered out?
No, I don't think it ever
It
formed.
just was a tropical storm.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but
It was rotating like a hurricane, but wasn't big enough to be, not strong enough winds to be considered a hurricane. So this is the last of those clouds. So hopefully tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow we're at the race.
I know, so quick.
Hopefully tomorrow we don't have much for rain. But I wouldn't mind these clouds. I wouldn't mind a day just like this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
A little rain come through, I'd be fine with it.
I mean, like, you still have to worry about sunburnt, but you get some relief when there's clouds. Because we're definitely getting used to the higher humidity.
It's definitely muggy. Oh, that's a turn lane only. Thank you for the advance warning. Probably did, but I missed the sign. There we go. 2-lane highway. This is more like it.
The vines took over.
Look at all the vines just taking everything over. I know the sun's kind of harsh this time of day, but we're kind of starting to turn more east, so we should be okay for sun-wise. Might get some good video with the sun behind us like this. Right here, the video. I don't know. This time of day, it's always a little harsh, but you can still get pretty good quality. And that roof cam, I don't know how we ever shot pickup videos without that roof cam before, because that is my primary camera I use now for all the videos.
Well, I tell you, now that you found the secrets, it's working.
Back to a passing lane. I thought it was roadkill for a second, but that's just grass growing in the middle of the road.
Oh, it's one of those stupid medium barriers that are like
Invisible? Yeah.
invisible. They're like they're off the ground a couple feet.
Feet?
Okay, a foot,
Foot? 3 inches?
half a foot. Okay, that's the problem I'm trying to say. Depth perception, you can't tell. Tell you what, though, they're not flat.
They are not flat. Quite a few bugs, so hopefully our outside cameras stay bug-free.
I don't want to jinx us, but we really haven't had to deal with mosquitoes. Right?
No, we have not.
It's been other bugs and little annoying flies and stuff, but we haven't had to run from mosquitoes yet.
Bouncy, bouncy. A lot more bouncy.
Yep.
Stuff falling over. Lush green. Happy Bible Church.
We must be happy.
We must be unhappy.
Happy Circle, I think that road was called. Happy something.
Rough crossing. Oh, there's some goats. On how often we're going to cross that railroad.
I don't know.
Following a little river.
Oh, there's another railroad.
It's the third time crossing it. Some Halloween decoration going on at that house.
Yeah, it's quite a few houses that have them.
That cloud looks a little grumpy up there. We're in the town of Happy, but that cloud does not look happy.
You're silly. I think you guys would agree with me. Your dollar stores really do pop up out of nowhere.
Dollar stores everywhere? Yeah.
They're just like everywhere. I know I've seen a lot of memes and jokes about them.
Oh, buddy. I know I wasn't painting quite in the lines either, but...
There's definitely a lot of accurate memes and jokes about them.
About dollar stores, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you not in North America, dollar stores are basically where you sell the cheap and garbage type of stuff for really cheap. For $1. Most of it's more like $5, but...
There's a difference between a dollar store and like a value dollar store, you know? Like...
It's got the cheap junk that got defected, isn't sold in the main big chains anymore. But often if you only want something really poor quality, one time, two time use, go buy it at the dollar store. We've done that.
You actually can find a couple of cool things there that you can only find there.
Only find at a dollar store, yeah. This is so cool. I gotta say, I kind of like the Appalachian Mountains. They're uniquely different than anything I expected.
See, I've been to them before, so...
I expected a little more boring scenery than this. I'm like, they're old mountains. I'm like, whoop-dee. But, hey, bud, road's over here.
I haven't been on this highway, but I've been on the one that... Oh. I'll be in the area that we'll take Monday. How's that? But not that highway either. So I kind of knew what to expect, but yeah. I'm so happy to see him again. It's only a few hours before we see my parents as well.
Yeah. For the first time in many years.
Yep. I'm sure wherever we sit down to catch up, and I'll be like, I need a pitcher of water and a cup. So I'm just going to talk so much.
It's nice to have passing lanes too, here and there. It's a steep little climb. For this little straight six.
We put this pickup through a lot of things. But we did that to our Matrix. We put that Matrix.
Yeah, we drove that car down roads where people are like, is there another way in here? I'm like, no, just that way over there. Well, you didn't come through all those washouts with this car. I'm like, yeah, I did. Because no, you didn't. And I'm like, It's just down the railroad there? Yeah, we came in there. But you can't drive through those with this car. It's like, sure you can. Short little wheelbase, angle it right, sure you can get through these.
Yeah. I like to find the beaten path.
I think we're in the shadow of the grumpy cloud.
Oh. Well, don't make it too grumpy, okay?
Oh, there's a raindrop. Just one single raindrop.
Don't tickle it. saw a road in the mountains, but now I can't see through the trees.
Definitely forest. That's all you guys are going to see on this video is forest with fun curvy roads. With cliff sides like this with cool rock cuts. This is neat. I like this rock cut like this. This is so neat. I know the video is not going to do this justice, but guys, I might use the roof cam a lot. Oh, this is so neat. I've never seen anything quite like this.
Well, aren't these some of the oldest mountains in North
These
America?
are North America's oldest mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really unique.
This is where the Civil War got fought. At least part of where the Civil War got fought. Imagine marching your armies through this. I guess you'd have horses and stuff too to carry. But
You still will get lost in the humidity and the heat.
and then in the winter, the snow.
Yeah. And I still had hurricanes dropping tropical rain over you too.
And you gotta live off the land. Your army has to live off the land. Hunting and fishing. That's about it. Wild berries, I guess. Man, that rock cut is just so awesome.
The river, you can't really see the river, but it's there.
There's a big river down there. Hopefully Spot is tracking because you're going to need Spot to
To the road.
draw the map for this. Because it's like, which highway do we take where? Because there's so many different ways through here.
How
There-
big that river is.
That is a beautiful river right there. Look at that rock cut.
He's tracking us occasionally, but not as much with the mountains.
Yeah.
But it's trying.
Just across the river. At least maybe the fork. I got a feeling there's a hydro dam somewhere nearby, the way the river is starting to look like a little lake. Looks like we're going to leave the river behind us. No, it's still beside us. Never mind.
It calls it a lake, but yeah, I think it's dammed off right there.
Wouldn't surprise me if we pass a dam soon. Or it's behind us the other direction. Depending on which way. It's probably behind us the other direction, depending on which way the river flows. Because we're climbing up, so it's got to be behind us. Yeah.
I think so. I have to find a way to calibrate the compass on my phone because it always points me backwards on Google Maps right now. And so it takes a while to wrap my brain around what direction we're actually going when I look at the map.
Could be a sensor that's broken too.
No, I think it's just this SIM card probably and all that.
Yeah. Look, there's a big anvil there. Must be some kind of historic ironsmithing thing. Red Fox. Welcome to the town of Red Fox.
I bet you they had a lot of foxes here.
I imagine they found red foxes here.
Part of the fur trade.
Yeah. Hudson Bay Company would have been big here. Towns are like on a single road. Such narrow valleys, right?
And you can't afford to have built into the mountains, right?
Oh, there's a side road that went up. Yeah, a little side valley, and there's a road down that way full of houses too. So just down each valley, there's just a little road that's filled with houses. Yep, same with that one. That's cool. Natural just to build around along the road. Definitely super conservative. You can see Confederate flags everywhere. Very conservative politically.
Yep. Alright. I'll turn that. Then you don't have to hear it every time I take a photo. I haven't been taking that many photos, I've just been enjoying it.
Yeah. Same with me. Just sit back and enjoy. Bobcat. Skid steer, that's what I meant. Skid steer, because it's a Kubota skid steer.
I don't know what I would have called it.
Looks like we're going down.
That's what the sign says.
Use lower gear, but doesn't say what gear to use.
The sign was wrong the other day when it did tell you what grade, so I mean, you guessed and you're pretty close, so you're pretty good at it. You get a feel for it.
6%? 7%? Feels like the Kootenai Pass steepness. GPS is saying between 6 and 7%, but it's less here. It's more like 4 or 5% here.
Look at that, you were right.
And then here it goes down to probably 3%. About here. 2%. Feels more 2%.
2% it is. I guess I'm your only witness that you're not cheating. You do have to go into a different menu to see it.
Yeah, GPS you have to hit a button to see the. And now we're at 0%, and then we're starting to climb again. Double quickie. Truck stop. Marathons are popular here in the east. I guess this isn't technically the east yet.
It's kind of that fine line. Even when I grew up in Michigan, you're considered Midwest, but then you look at the Midwest being the Dakotas.
Yeah.
So then you're like, I'm not really east, because that's, you know what I mean?
In the original colonies, Michigan being Midwest makes sense.
Yes. But
Nowadays, the term Midwest does not make sense.
And like, you want to say Mid-East, but then you think overseas.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what terminology you would use for these states that are in between. the wannabe Midwest.
What time zone are we in? Eastern?
I think you said that earlier today. Before we started driving, or you did it last night. We've changed all our time zones.
Almost 3 o'clock over here. Well, 2:45.
I don't know what road exactly my parents are taking down, but it'd be funny if we find them just accidentally.
They're way ahead of us.
Oh, but they had some time to kill too, so.
Jess was worried we'd get there before 3 o'clock or 3:30. It's like, no way. There's no way we'll get there before that. Told her somewhere between 5 and 6. I think we're still on schedule for between 5 and 6.
Right now it's 5:30.
It's like we gotta stop for fuel, food and fuel, and rest stops.
And more fuel.
And more fuel. And more rest stops. The more times I say rest stop, the more I'm gonna need a rest stop.
Just ask them where the washroom is down here, and they're going to give you a funny look.
Yeah, I've said that a couple times. I'm like, I'm just going to use the washroom. I'm like, yeah, nobody here knows what I just told Jess. They're all bathrooms and restrooms down here. You ask a cashier, where's your washroom? And they just look at you funny. The term washroom is definitely a very Canadian thing.
But it makes sense.
And other people just call it toilet. In Europe and...
Well, in French is
French, yeah.
toilets. I mean, put a French accent on it, but no fancy word for it.
Seems to be less bugs in here, so that's good. Hopefully that means the cameras are staying bug-free.
I'm just enjoying these mountains.
So lush and green. Do you want to make one map or two maps for these two videos?
I haven't thought about that. Doesn't matter to me, really.
If it's two maps, let's call it right here in this town, Whitesburg. Halfway.
We can just do that, screenshot it.
Not quite to Whitesburg, but that'd be a good halfway point.
In that town? Yeah.
Or let's say it right over here. This is just before Whitesburg.
Around there. Got
So
it.
I guess we'll just continue tomorrow exactly where we left off over here. Kentucky Farm Bureau. It's weird to be in Kentucky. But thank you guys so much for watching. Really, really appreciate all your support. You guys absolutely rock.
Adios.